On YouTube, there's an unwritten rule that when violated, it ruins your image forever. It causes irreparable damage to your reputation, and there's really not much you can ever do to get back in the good graces of the platform. That is abusing the copyright takedown system. It's basically a 10 commandment that when broken is a cardinal sin that banishes you straight to the shadow realm in the eyes of everyone who uses YouTube. And unfortunately, a massive YouTuber today took a bite out of that forbidden fruit. His name is Brent Rivera. I actually recently talked about this goofball only 9 days ago. He was recently involved in some medium rare YouTube beef where he and another YouTuber named Tyler Oliveira were staying at the same haunted hotel that they were milking the tits out of for content. Now, I'm not one to usually believe in the paranormal, but after all of this going around here, I'm starting to think that Brent Rivera really did catch a curse from this hotel. He's now being haunted by a clout demon that's using his body like a fucking fleshlight. A little puppet that's forcing him to say the stupidest shit imaginable and has transformed him into an even bigger douchebag. But anyway, these two YouTubers stayed at the hotel. Tyler Oliveira started trolling Brent a little bit. He was clearly instigating, so he'd go up and like say, hey, do you fake your pranks? Nothing like super mean or aggressive or anything, just like, hey, you fake your pranks, don't you? And Brent would go on the defensive. He'd be like a cornered animal. He'd be like, oh, no, I don't fake my pranks. Do you fake your fucking pranks? And then throughout the night, the two would cross paths in what seemed to be accidental because it's not a huge area. And every time they did cross paths, Brent Rivera and his henchmen would insult Tyler. So it ended up just this horrible look for him where he looks like a piece of shit because he kept insulting Tyler. While Tyler did start it, per se, his was less egregious than everything Brent was doing, so Brent ended up looking significantly worse. It was very petty stuff. I covered it because I thought it was silly, but anyway, that's where it all started. That's why it's important here. So Brent Rivera was getting dunked on by his own community of 4-year-olds who somehow found Tyler's content, or I guess maybe a TikTok of someone dancing while explaining it, must have enlightened them and opened their third eye to the situation, because everyone turned on him. Brent Rivera got a lot of shit tossed at him. A lot of YouTubers started making content around him, and I guess at some point something must have snapped. The nice guy went bad, and Brent Rivera went rogue and started copyright striking and copyright claiming some people's content that was critical of him. And one of those YouTubers is a commentary channel named Dumpy. He's made a couple of videos clowning on Brent for this whole situation, and today posted this video titled Brent Rivera Wants to Delete My Channel, where he goes over what he's been dealing with behind the scenes over the last 12 or so hours, where Brent Rivera or someone that represents him on his team have been filing takedown requests on the content that's been laughing at him. And while those weren't taken down instantly, he did have one piece of content taken down, which was this video here, and it was taken down for harassment, violating the YouTube harassment policy. Now, I haven't seen that video, and I haven't found a re-upload of it, at least not as of right now while I'm recording this, so I can't access it, but I'm inclined to believe that this is a load of dirty barnacles. Calling out shitty behavior isn't harassment. There's nothing wrong with calling out a misbehaving bad actor to the principal's office and disciplining him. As I understand it, Dumpy was just bending him over and taking his hand to his cheeks and spanking him, letting him know that what he's done is cringe, right? Like, that's not that big of a deal. But sometimes there's always going to be big egos and fragile, sensitive, thin-skinned people, like Brent Rivera seems to be, who find this content and get upset about it. And then that broken YouTube copyright system starts to look real appetizing. Like a nice big glass of water while you've been starving in the desert. And they just can't help themselves. Just like Adam and Eve, they just need to take a bite out of that apple. So, either Brent or someone on his team decided to start filing copyright takedown requests, which can result in strikes. Luckily, in Dumpy's case, YouTube actually sided with Dumpy. They made him aware that someone was trying to take down the content, but they ruled in Dumpy's favor that they weren't going to be giving him any strikes for it or anything like that. So big W from YouTube on that, but big fucking L for Brent Rivera or whoever is representing Brent Rivera in this way, whether it's a fan or whether he's using one of those scummy, shady third-party companies that do these takedown requests on behalf of creators. A lot of those stinky companies exist, and it's their entire business model to just slap down all types of content unjustly in order to either bury it or make money off of it for the creator. It's a very awful thing. So it might not have been Brent Rivera himself. It could have been one of those companies, or it could have been like fans that for some reason went to arms, picked up a fucking sword and said, we're gonna take down Dumpy because he was mean to the guy that we like. I guess that's also somewhat possible because of how broken YouTube's system is, and they still haven't really bothered to fix it. But me personally, I'm inclined to believe that it is Brent Rivera himself in this case here. At least from what I've seen presented in Dumpy's video, it leads me to believe that it's likely Brent Rivera or someone very close to him. So let me walk you through how this thing usually goes. When a YouTuber makes the decision to go nuclear and start filing these kind of takedown requests, the whole community turns against them. People fucking hate that, for good reason. That's the lowest shit you could sink to. Just stop being a little bitch and accept that not everyone's going to like you. And when you do some dumb, embarrassing shit because your ego bubbles over and you embarrass yourself, people are gonna make fun of you for it. That's the circle of life, baby. That's nature. That's the way God made this world. And the cyberspace as well. I bet even, the Lord was on an alt account kind of laughing about what you did here, because you looked real stupid during it. The point I'm making is, you just move on from it. You don't do this. When you do copyright abuse shenanigans, it is always like sticking your head into a beehive. You are the only one who gets hurt, but you are just too focused on the potential sweetness in that hive, that honey. You got consumed by the idea that you could take down these videos that were being mean and people being mean to you, you could bury it, but what always ends up happening is you make the problem much worse. You escalate it to a much higher degree. If I can turn your attention back to Exhibit A here, I'd like to explain why I think Brent Rivera himself or someone close to him filed this. It's because of these questions that were answered here. So, I don't remember exactly if YouTube always supplies this, but I guess in Dumpy's case they did. So these were questions in regards to the takedowns, why he was filing him. He was claiming that Dumpy used his entire video and basically just re-uploaded it, which is a blatant lie. That's not the case. Dumpy used clips from the videos and talked about it and made fun of him for it. He wasn't just re-uploading raw videos, it was transformative. He was literally giving input every fucking 15, 20 seconds, just showing clips from it to talk about it afterwards. But these were the questions that were answered. How much of your copyrighted work is used? Most of the video were my original videos from my YouTube channel. No other original content from the creator was shown. That is categorically false. There's a DEFCON, Red Alert, Liar Liar, Pants on Fire, Brent Rivera's career is looking dire situation. You can watch any of the videos and see that it is not just mainly his original video, it is Dumpy opining on it. Next question, how is the market for your original work affected by this use? It affects it negatively. That right there is the biggest tip-off for me that flips on the light bulb in my head that tells me Brent Rivera likely filed this, because no self-respecting third-party company that does this professionally on behalf of creators would ever answer that question like that. It's a very concise answer, but it also doesn't even answer the question. The question is, how is the market for your original work affected? And his response was, it affects it negatively. That's like how a child would answer it. I know Brent Rivera makes videos for children, but it seems like he also has the brain of one too. He's stuck in 3rd grade. You're supposed to explain your reasoning, so it affects it negatively, but how? Why? What exactly is this doing to encroach on you and your original content? How is it stealing from you or ruining your content? And he just gives fucking 5 words here. Moving on, does this use significantly transform your original work, or does it serve the same purpose? It serves the same purpose, it does not transform it at all. So you didn't watch it at all, is what that tells me. Because how the fuck could it serve the same purpose? It's the exact opposite purpose. The purpose of your original video is to entertain kids. The purpose of Dumpy's video was to take a shit on you. And that's it, making fun of you for the entertainment. Unless you are saying that the content you make, you are also supposed to be the butt of the joke of, though that I don't think is the case. It doesn't serve the same purpose, not even fucking close. And the fact that he's saying it doesn't transform it at all tells me he didn't watch it, because it is mainly Dumpy talking about him and using some clips to back up his claims. Does this use fall into an exception to copyright protection? Please note that we may share your response with the uploader. No, it isn't fair use since the uploaded did not adjust the content at all and is most of his video. Again, this is structured like a literal child on a fucking 4th grade English assignment here. No professional will be answering these questions this way, especially since this is a legal matter. When you file something like this, it is literally a legal matter, and he is answering these things and can't even be bothered to get the words correct. Instead of saying uploader, he says uploaded. Like, this is very poorly put together, and it is very wrong. This is the very definition of fair use. He's not using your full video, A, and B, he is using clips in order to provide commentary and critique, and he dunks on you, showing the clips to enforce his points and talk about his points with. So it's just wrong on every possible level, and he filled this out in like 3 seconds. Like, he gave the quickest answers possible as if he was trying to just scribble his way through a test in school, like a quick quiz. It is poorly done, very haphazardly thrown together. It seemed like he was very much in his feelings and tried to take down the content that was making him upset, and now you look like an absolute fool, and you've ruined your reputation even further, Brent. If such a thing was even possible. Somehow your audience of children are actually being aware of this now, which is the last thing I imagine you wanted to happen with the drama. You're just doing all of the wrong things here. You fucked up, you should have just moved on from it, apologized for it, and been done with it. You made a terrible response to this whole thing, trying to give context to it, where even in that you make yourself look stupid. Like, you played this terribly, you played yourself, and you look dumb. Luckily, Dumpy's channel I don't think is going to get deleted or get in any hot water from this situation, so that's good, but it is really frustrating to see yet another big creator like Brent Rivera try and bully people around by abusing the copyright systems on the platform that have been broken for a long time. That's always going to be a big fuck you from me for people that do that, so very awful shit, Brent, or whoever is representing Brent here. That's about it. See ya. Welcome to the splash zone. I'm just going to cannonball into the pool right away here because this story's got me heated. I am boiling right now. On YouTube, there is one unforgivable sin, an unwritten rule that every creator and user is aware of. It's kind of like a treaty, a truce that we've all shaken hands on and accept because it is inexcusable, slimy, and anytime someone tries to take a bite of the forbidden fruit, they rightfully get their cheeks disciplined, a very firm spanking from the whole community, and most of the time they end up pretty much losing their career from it, from their own self-destructive narcissism and greed. That is false copyright strikes, and unfortunately that's what we're talking about today. A big YouTube channel named Penguinz0 is facing termination because he received 3 fraudulent copyright strikes from another YouTube channel named Business Casual, aka Alex Edson. Now, Alex Edson is a special fucking malicious goofball. You see, this guy didn't even build the Business Casual channel from scratch or anything. He bought it when it was already extremely popular. So he didn't even put the fucking work in, which is an absolute goober move off rip, but you've probably heard of this channel recently because he had a viral video talking about why he's suing YouTube. And while there is some compelling points and evidence, there's also a bunch of dirty barnacles in here as well, with some shady claims and some claims that were just absolutely wrong, like provably false. But overall, like, the video did have a lot to it, which is why it was so popular, and it was well put together, it was high production, and made some good points and some not so great points. But overall, it was kind of odd. And a couple YouTubers actually pointed out a lot of it. In fact, Upper Echelon made 3 videos kind of covering all of it, which I think make very good points. Overall, the whole thing was odd, if nothing else. And now Alex is back from the septic tanks, he's risen from the sewers like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he's bringing bad news. He's striking down Penguinz0 with what I and anyone with a functioning cerebral cortex will classify as blatant abuse of the copyright systems. So, he's issued 3 strikes to Penguinz0, which sets his channel up for termination in the coming days. He's already received a notice that his channel will be taken down because of these strikes from Business Casual. Let me just lay down the brass tacks here with the level of lunacy we're dealing with these claims. So, Business Casual is basically taking away Penguinz0's entire livelihood because he believes that some of his content looked similar to his based on an editing technique called parallax editing. So he struck him 3 times for 3 separate videos. The total content time of those 3 videos is over an hour and a half long. And of those 3 videos, in total, 10 seconds, roughly 10 seconds worth of footage, Alex is saying belonged to him. So in one of the videos, it is actually just a single image that lasts for like 3 seconds, and he's saying that he stole it directly from his video because the parallax editing technique was a dead giveaway. But Penguinz Media has proven beyond a shadow of doubt that not only is that image a public domain image, because they were covering a similar topic, so of course they're going to have similar images because it's a fucking public domain image. So he proved it's a public domain image and that the parallax editing technique was done by his editor. And he has like a 16-minute video showcasing his editor doing the editing on that photo to prove he didn't take it from Business Casual. And they don't even look similar in any of these cases, but this is how outrageous Alex Edson's claims are. In total, about 10 seconds he has a problem with, saying that it looks similar to his work, thus it must have been stolen, and he has a right to terminate this channel. And Penguinz Media channel will be terminated because of these 3 strikes as of right now. He's already received the notice that it's coming. It's right around the corner. That is fucking frightening and just downright evil from Business Casual. Upper Echelon made an incredible video going over this entire subject from top to bottom, inside and out. I highly recommend checking out that video. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. He does an amazing job breaking it all down thoroughly, as well as some other incredibly fucked up things Alex has done.
If you read the other provisions of the DMCA Safe Harbor, Section 512, it's clear that Congress did not want parties to have to sue to enforce their rights. So while it may be that the system could be gamed on the other side, that's how Congress intended it to be. End quote. That right there is Business Casual arguing that simply because he filed some strikes, it therefore means that YouTube needs to terminate the entire channel without him proving anything in a court of law. That's what we just read, and that appears to be precisely what he's doing now to a channel named Penguinz Media.
What he was reading there comes from a completely different case, but just hearing that is beyond alarming. That is fucking chaos. That is the opening of Pandora's box in the worst way imaginable. So Alex Edson is an actual villain, and what he's doing here is completely unjustifiable. This is beyond fucking tragic. There's absolutely no argument he nor anyone could make on his behalf that would justify him taking down an entire channel, ruining the entire career and livelihood of that creator based on similarity of public domain images. Now, they made videos on similar topics, obviously. They did do that, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like Alex owns that whole topic or anything. And Alex even made a bold claim that Penguinz Media stole his scripts from his videos, which is so laughably delusional. I imagine he was twirling his little evil mustache when he made that claim, because Business Casual's videos on the same content as Penguinz Media is like 19 minutes, 20 minutes long sometimes. Penguinz Media coverage is like 50 plus minutes long. So Penguinz Media does a much more thorough breakdown and deep dive on everything than Business Casual, so how the fuck would he have stolen any of the scripts? But even still, Penguinz Media played ball with it. He tap danced with the claims and still proved his innocence by showing all of the timestamps of the editing done to his script from fucking start to finish. Alex tried to claim that he stole his scripts and plugged it into ChatGPT to generate a somewhat different script while still maintaining his video's DNA. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just using random buzzwords in his stupid little smooth brain. That's so laughable. What a fucking joke of a person. And it's sickening to see him do this to someone he views as competition. That's the only explanation I can think of for why he'd even target this channel. There is absolutely no justification or argument someone can make that would convince me that what Alex is doing here is just, and he has a right to do so. If there really was an issue where he felt like these images were stolen, like, oh, you took this image that my editor worked hard on editing, he could have reached out to Penguinz Media. And Penguinz Media has said multiple times on Twitter that he has tried to reach out to Alex himself to try and resolve this whole situation amicably. But Alex isn't responding. He's giving the cold shoulder, fucking full radio silence. But you could have reached out and said, hey, can you remove that, or some other different solution that doesn't involve striking. That is the nuclear option. That is the harshest punishment that you can dish out. And it's highly unnecessary here when all of the offending content that you believe is too similar to yours only accounts for 10 seconds out of over an hour and a half worth of content. That makes no sense. It's fucking ridiculous, and it's shameful. It is beyond shameful. Another YouTuber made a great video covering this situation as well, which I'll link in the description too, and he leads to a bigger conversation to be had about what this could mean for the entire platform going forward, as well as he talks about something that I think is important we mention as well, that if Magnates Media tries to push back and defend himself, fight back against Alex Edson legally, Alex Edson may very well just turn around and sue him. He has shown he is more than willing to do that, and it just seems like he is vaguely alluding to the fact that he would be open to doing that against Magnates Media should he try and defend himself against his claims here. So, just an actual piece of shit. Now, what Scott highlights and something that I'd also like to talk about is what it could mean for the whole platform should this behavior continue. It would mean that if you, let's say, are doing a, video essay on a topic that another channel has covered, you might be at risk of them striking your channel down because you used the same image they used. You were covering the same topic and you may have used the same image, and maybe you just used very standard editing techniques like, TV static effect, or a very common one you see in all video essays these days are the crumpled paper backgrounds. A lot of video essays today use the crumpled paper background. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So should this kind of shit continue, you could very well be next on the chopping block for someone who said, hey, I have a right to use the crumpled paper background. You have lifted my editing technique. This work is too similar to mine. Here's a strike for it. I think it's pretty obvious how that would be absolutely awful to the platform overall. So really the whole thing is terrible. This whole situation is really bad for YouTube entirely. I've only scratched the very tip of this iceberg with how disgusting this whole situation is, so I do encourage you once again to watch the Upper Echelon video as well as Scott Schaefer's video. Mudahar also just posted something about it, and all three of them are far more knowledgeable on all of the nuance to this subject than I am. I just wanted to give a general overview of everything, and I'll just quickly try and cover my own ass before Alex Edson tries to stick his tongue in it. I'm just giving my opinion on everything. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't pass the bar. I can't say for sure if these are fraudulent claims or if it's an alleged abuse of the copyright system. I'm just giving my dumb, stupid caveman brain opinion on it and saying that I think you suck, Alex. I think you are a revolting, stinky piece of dog shit that not even the flies want to be around. That's all. I'm just here to kind of make fun of you and point out a problem here with your behavior. So yeah, here's hoping Magnates Media doesn't lose his channel from all of this absolute mumbo jumbo. That would be extremely upsetting to see. Hoping for the best for him and his channel and a good outcome from this whole situation here. That's really about it. So yeah. When you think of demons, you probably think of the mainstream normie names like Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Lucifer. But what if I told you there's another demon out there, a very real one that not too many people know the name of, but probably should? Smash Bandicoot. When Dante made the venture into the deepest pits of hell, there was one circle he too feared to speak on. The Smash Bandicoot cringe lair. If you look up his name on YouTube, you can't even find his channel anymore because it's buried underneath all of these videos that document his years of awful behavior and downright insanity. After taking the plunge into the deep dark rabbit hole of Smash Bandicoot, I'm pretty sure this is the same guy from 2012 that was arrested for eating a man's face off in Miami. This guy is what I imagine a real jet addict from the Fallout universe would look like if given flesh in our corporeal realm. Now, I'm not going to focus on all of the allegations from the past about him. I'm going to focus on what he is currently doing, openly admitting to, and just got absolutely slapped for by YouTube. This is less of a video about Smash Bandicoot and more of a video about a huge YouTube W. So, Smash Bandicoot recently concocted a nefarious scheme to falsely copyright strike channels that he didn't like. So, he targeted a YouTuber named Cartoonshi. He flooded the channel with 3 copyright strikes, which then put it on the 7-day doomsday clock for Judgment Day. If you don't know how the strike system works on YouTube, if you get 3 strikes, you lose your channel in a week unless you prove that they're a bunch of malarkey, the claims aren't real. So Cartoonshi was facing channel termination. He also wasn't the only one that Smash Bandicoot was doing this to, and he didn't have any real grounds for striking. They were fraudulent, and he celebrated the fact they were fraudulent openly, blatantly. So apparently this guy named Smash Bandicoot is copyright striking someone that he doesn't like. and their account is in a bad spot right now because of it. He's attempting to dox him and get his channel banned. Okay. So Smash Bandicoot is a YouTuber? Smash Bandicoot has harassed not only Cartoonshi, but also myself and various other creators. This person is removing content that includes nothing he made in what is clear bad faith, and then tagging YouTube. Just spamming fucking die. Man, this guy he is on the crack pipe. Yeah, this man's got a whole Lord of the Rings movie covering Smash Bandicoot. And I am tempted to take the plunge. This is apparently Smash gloating on one of his many accounts that he likes to make where he's celebrating this and acting as if he's some kind of omniscient god figure who's, you know, controlling the hands of fate, the puppet master. I will not deliver the third strike, which he eventually did. This is a mere lesson. If he wants to continue making content, he can, but I will not revoke. In exchange for letting both of you get set free, however, you must tell me who are the content creators both of you have friended on Discord, delete the recording and guide me, then I shall set you both free. For once, don't be a pathetic, arrogant, and not gonna continue forward there. He was trying to use these strikes as a way at getting back at people he didn't like. Now, the bad blood between all of these people in Smash goes way back over nothing. This is a mentally unwell individual that needs professional help, for sure. Like I said, I'm not getting into all of the allegations over the years they've been a nuisance, but it is some weird, not good shit. So this has reached the boiling point. He's harbored this grudge for 4 years and then came up with these strikes. He's claiming certain things about these videos that he has absolutely no right to, and as you saw, he openly just celebrates that they're not legitimate, but he's able to abuse the system, which has been a problem on YouTube for a long time. So, obviously, Cartoonshi and the other YouTubers that have been falling victim to this were panicking about it, thinking they were going to, you know, lose their channel or just being like a terrible standing on the platform. But YouTube, in recent years, I don't know how many people know this, has really started singing a different tune when it comes to this type of exploitation. They've been pretty solid about addressing it and fixing it. It might not always be as fast as it should, but the fact that they're at least doing that is such a significant improvement. I've mentioned this case a couple times over the last few years, but in 2019, they absolutely teed off of a fucking douchebag's face for this type of copyright strike abusing. There was a false flagger who repeatedly false flagged Minecrafters and then tried to like hold them ransom, like I'll release the strike only if you pay me via PayPal. YouTube actually took him to court and slapped him with $25K right to the goddamn noggin. They took him over his knee, spanked his cheeks red with discipline, and kind of put the kibosh on that with an exclamation point, really. And in recent times, they have been stepping in and fixing problems like this. And I'm happy to say they did just that. So Cartoonshi made a post today talking about how the strikes are disappearing, which is great. They say, my strikes are being removed. I've got one more left that should be sorted out shortly. I want to thank everyone who reached out to help and managed to spread the word. The support from the past 2 days has been insane. I'm tired and need sleep. And I'm sure he slept with a nice wet dream knowing that he foiled the great Smash Bandicoot's plot. And he would have got away with it if not for those meddling kids. Now, if you're at all familiar with Smash Bandicoot, then may God have mercy on your soul. You'll know one of the things that they like to do is he likes to make a ton of different accounts for many types of sorted purposes. In fact, when I briefly covered this topic on stream 2 days ago, within 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, he somehow went into my chat on multiple different accounts to spam gobbledygook, just actual gibberish that he was caps locking and screaming to the heavens. How he even knew I was talking about him is beyond me, because it had been less than 10 minutes since his name left my mouth. That is how online he is all of the time. He's like the fucking NSA. It's crazy. And he has tons of accounts that he uses these things for. So the question naturally becomes, what stops him from just doing this again and striking more channels? Well, that's another thing YouTube's also been pretty good about in recent years. There have been no shortage of weirdos like Smash Bandicoot that try this. And usually when they fail, that's the end of the discussion because YouTube actually swats these flies pretty effectively. So once they deem that all of this is a bunch of baloney, they make some kind of note in their system or something, because obviously they have this guy's information. And clearly they've set the precedent of they're not afraid to go to court over these things and punish people legally, financially for it. So I'm guessing what happens is YouTube is somehow able to, I don't know, like blacklist them internally so that way they can't be submitting strike claims anymore. At least that's my little game theory on it. But usually you don't see them do this anymore. And I have to imagine that's something on YouTube's side for this kind of abuse, which is of course a very good thing because pieces of shit like this should not be allowed to continue to do that. So I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because it is one of those situations where it has a happy ending. And I'm happy to see YouTube going in this direction where they seem to really be taking these kind of matters more seriously. And I can only hope that that continues, and maybe at some point down the line, there'll be a more effective system in place with blocks and checks that won't allow fraudulent strikes to go through in the first place. Because it is scary to have to drum up a lot of like hoopla online through Twitter noise and getting people to be aware of the situation before YouTube is. It'd be better if YouTube knew right away, or had creators had a way of contacting YouTube like, hey, look, here's the proof that all these claims are fraudulent. Can we do something about this? Like if there was some kind of system in place for that, it'd be better than the current one, which is, again, making it go viral on Twitter, which is exactly what this Smash Bandicoot saga did do, which is how they became aware of it, I imagine, through all of that. Again, it's a happy ending, but I do still hope they continue to go in this, upward trajectory, this forward direction, the right path, and continue to improve upon it, so that way it can be even more effective down the line. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. It's good to see that the strikes are being removed from his channel, as well as the other victims of the goddamn diabolical Smash Bandicoot here. And hopefully that'll be the end of that story and he won't be trying anything else like that in the future. That's really about it. So yeah. It's always adorable when a villain or clown from a previous season of YouTube drama pokes their curious little heads out from the shadow just to remind everyone that they're still out there and still an insufferable loser. That's what we're dealing with today. It's a YouTuber named TechLead, and a couple of years ago, CoffeeZilla threw him into the Thunderdome and smacked him down and exposed to the world that this guy is a superstar scammer. And this week, he tried to puff out his chest and spread his invisible, non-existent lats by copyright claiming and taking down a video another YouTuber made about him that hurt his feelings. Internet Anarchist made a video kind of just going over the CoffeeZilla vs. TechLead saga from a while back, and TechLead decided to copyright strike him and openly, on camera, with 4K video evidence, admit to falsely flagging him and abusing the YouTube copyright system. This delusional douchebag attempted to take a victory lap over Internet Anarchist's corpse, gloating about his abuse of the YouTube copyright system. His sensitive little feelings led to the hatred blinding his eyes like cataracts, and him not realizing that he is openly admitting to something you are not allowed to do and can get into big trouble for. As I've mentioned in the past, there is a very popular case where YouTube themselves actually stepped in when someone was notorious for false flagging other YouTubers' content, took them to church and put the fear of God in them. Like, the false flagger back then got slapped with massive fines per instance of their abuse of that copyright system. So it is something that is taken very seriously, and this dumb, insufferable asshole is openly admitting to it on camera. That's not even doing it justice. He is so proud of it, he was wearing that like a Boy Scout badge on his jacket. But I'm assuming the stupid potion that he drank must have wore off, or maybe someone in his life kicked down the front door and told him how terrible of an idea that video was, because he has deleted it as of this afternoon. So the only footage I have to show you is from the Internet Anarchist, who was kind of just cutting the most shocking bits of what he openly admits to.
I tend to copyright strike down any expose videos on me because I understand that these are not real exposés. There's no journalism involved in here at all.
Journalism is probably the boogeyman that keeps him up at night, haunting his nightmares. Because any journalist that ever looks into TechLead will find the most filthy and foul resume ever. This guy super sucks, and any journalism that's ever done on him only further exposes how much of a scumbag he is. I also just have to mention that the title of his video where he talks about this actually gave me a bit of a belly laugh like fucking Santa Claus. He had the chutzpah to call the YouTubers he's referring to in the video scam tubers and put it in his title. Marinate in that for a moment. That's like Justin Timberlake calling someone else an alcoholic.
Welcome to the world of business where people are afraid that they're going to be doxxed. Well, if you're going to come into business and do business in this world, yes, you're going to be doxxed. You better have an identity. And so then he takes to Twitter complaining he's going to have to dox himself to the tech lead. So you're saying I have to share my personal information to tech lead or let my video be taken down? He's afraid he has to be doxxed if he wants to counter the dispute. YouTube jumps in and says, well, you can also hire an attorney if you want to represent yourself. Well, yeah, this is business, right? People have a complaint against you. You can't just be a nobody and hide behind anonymity, right?
You don't even have a real complaint. You have hurt feelings and thinning hair from the stress of being such a whiny loser. This is a ridiculous statement that just because you're in that field, you need to be doxxed. It's just, the way he talks about it, it just comes with the territory. You're out of your fucking gourd. Like, you've lost your marbles. I also can't stand the way he talks. He actually just sounds like what I imagine every Reddit mod who thinks their job is the most important thing in the world sounds like.
One of the main reasons I will actually copyright strike a video, though, is I want to know who's behind the video, right? I want to know who these people are. What if it's somebody I even know in real life? Oftentimes these haters are people who know you very well, actually. I mean, this could be a real physical threat to me.
That's called paranoia. Like, that's an actual mental disorder that you've got here. You might want to get yourself checked out for that one. You think that someone just making a video on the history of CoffeeZilla spanking your cheeks red could have been someone that you knew in real life that could lead to a physical threat against you because he made like a video essay about it. Come back to reality, tech leads. Snap out of the genjutsu that you're trapped under here. I don't know what world you're seeing. Like, that is a crazy perspective to have on it. Like, legitimately, that is unhinged. Now, I don't think he actually believes it. Like, in all honesty, I think the only reason he's putting that there is like a cover your own ass token as like a, oh, well, that sounds reasonable to like the mind of a Neanderthal, perhaps. But anyone who thinks about that for even like an iota of a second would immediately recognize that that is a ridiculous thing to actually believe, and I don't think he does. He's using that as some kind of justifiable reason for why he does that, but even he backpedals on that so quickly. Like, he gives up on that facade almost immediately.
Really, these scam tubers exist only because I allow them to exist. And I can shut them down anytime I like because I own all of the copyrights to the images and audio that they're using.
A complete fundamental misunderstanding of how anything in the real world works. What the fuck are you yapping about? What? No, let me go ahead and set the record straight here. They are your videos, sure. But anyone can take those videos and make their own creative pieces about them using clips from them. That has been argued in court 100 times at least, and every single time it is always ruled that that is completely okay to do, fair use, as long as they're not taking your entire video and using it, or doing nothing transformative with it, then they have the legal right to do so. They can take your video and highlight moments from it. Talk about moments from it, the same way I'm doing right here to throw tomatoes at you. What I'm doing isn't journalism. I'm just spitting on you and making fun of you for the absolute clown that you are. And I can do that, and there's not shit you can do about it legally. You're more than welcome to try. I will 100% use every single resource available to the entire legal firm that we have at our agency, Mana, which I am an owner of, to absolutely take you to court and embarrass you if you want to go that route. Though I don't think you want discovery to happen on your end, just a little hunch there, tech lead. But the point is, you're just completely wrong. Like this little supervillain monologue you're giving, like pinky to the mouth like Dr. Evil. They exist because I allow them to. Like your dumb little fucking speech has no teeth to it because it's completely fucking wrong.
I will issue these copyright strikes on these new YouTuber, scam-tuber videos. And I don't really care one way or another, I guess, but it's more of a hazing ritual for me, like a welcoming ceremony, just to let them know what they're in store for and who runs the show around here, who owns the content around here.
Oh God, Jesus, stand back. Whoa, whoa, this guy means business, holy shit. He's going insano style. Gee, wow, he's going fucking swag mode. He runs the show. He's the big dog. He's the big shot. The sheriff on the block. Watch out. Damn. Yeah, this all seems like the actions of someone who really doesn't care. Whining in a YouTube video about why you're falsely copyright striking other YouTubers and then openly admitting that it's not even legitimate, it's a hazing ritual for you, a welcoming ceremony. That's the lamest shit I've ever heard. I have no doubt that you got wedgies growing up, and now this is your way of taking some of that power back. That's what I feel with this shit.
So this is my welcoming ceremony. What happens next in these copyright strike cases is typically we go into court proceedings where I have 30 days to file a legal action, which typically I'm not going to waste anybody's time doing. This is really just my welcoming ceremony, hazing ceremony for people. And so the video will probably be back up after a while. Now, regarding these copyright claims, the truth is I don't really care. If I wanted to, I could go find all of these expose videos about me and copyright strike each and every one of them and take them down and take them to court if I really cared, if I wanted to.
You could absolutely try and do that. Just like I could try and do a backflip right now and probably break my fucking neck. But you can definitely try it and you would 100% fail. Just like me if I tried to do a backflip. You are openly admitting here, this right here would be evidence if you tried this. Because you are openly admitting that it's just a hazing ritual, welcoming ceremony, and not real. They're fraudulent strikes that you're issuing, blatantly abusing the copyright system. So, if you did actually take these to court, like the big shot you are, you would probably incur huge fines as a result of it, just like the last guy that YouTube beat down financially for this exact thing that you're talking about here. How dumb can you possibly be? He is with his whole chest talking about how he's abusing the YouTube copyright system here. And that is something that YouTube does take very seriously. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do about this going forward. He has deleted his confession video already, and now Internet Anarchist video has been reinstated as well. At the very least, it seems YouTube is aware of this situation, so it's just a matter of what are they going to do about it going forward. But yeah, I had to talk about this a little bit. This guy, Tech Lead, is a complete fucking loser. That's really about it. So yeah. Alright, so they're a YouTube channel for dating and money making, and they've sent 20 copyright notices to this channel. For what?
YouTube videos, the videos are still there, and we'll get to why that is later. They feel like they're in the right in doing so. So I'm going to play a clip from their channel, which again, they might copyright claim, but I'm still going to play it so you guys can get the full context, because I could explain it myself, but
for using clips of their
want
show.
to.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're back. You know what I'm saying? The haters tried to kill us. Over 30 plus YouTube channels made videos like slandering our name, whatever it is. Now they're mad that there's consequences of actions, bro. Y'all are not going to be able to run around and drag our name in the mud with, you know, falsely without some kind of recourse, bro. Like, that's just not the way the world works.
And just because your reality is ours doesn't mean that we're wrong. Like, we live this lifestyle. This is who we are.
Yeah,
bro.
So
I don't know what's going
man,
on. What is happening?
Bro, some are mad that they can't do what we do. That's what it really is, man.
yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to toot our own horn, but think about it, bro. Monday, we talked to you guys about making money, right? We brought Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, you know what I'm saying? Critically acclaimed authors, guys that are multimillionaires, billionaires on the show, teach you how to make money.
You had billionaires on the show? Jesus Christ.
You know what kills me about these guys? They always talk about, yeah, we're making men's lives so much better. Our channel's about doing all this stuff. If you go look at the views on their videos, none of them are on the videos where they're supposedly helping men. None of the men are tuning in for financial advice. The men are not tuning in for fitness advice. They're not tuning for none of that. You know what they tune in for? Women getting dunked on. Bimbos getting kicked out. So I think this whole like disingenuous thing where you're like, we're helping men get better. I mean, I'm sure there's a small section of men who are appreciative. Your brain is built on dunking on women.
So they got offended that people were making fun of
okay.
them.
It's okay,
is what I'm
but
getting.
it's a bit of a lie. That's like saying McDonald's is known for their salads. It's like, bruv, yes, we know you offer it, but motherfucker, give me a double cheeseburger and get on it pronto. And you know what kills me about these guys is that they're going to sit there and talk about like, you can't react to our stuff. It's ours. Go on their channel and they react to other people's content all the time without asking them for permission before.
All right, we're all alleged. Yep.
Here we are to kick off the Hood Olympics 2021.
So,
This seems kind of boring. So they're a shit channel that got upset that people called them out. And it looks like YouTube took this
So yeah, I'm sure you saw.
Abba and Preach's side. So it already has a resolution. That's great. Fuck them. W in the chat. Yeah. W in the chat. You see, this is when YouTube would actually probably step in and do something when it's a channel, as opposed to an entity like Toei Animations. So that's nice. I'm glad. I'll actually watch
Everything
this. I want to see how it resolved.
Okay. Well, yeah, the video came out. So if you weren't aware, I know you're on tour. They sent us a bunch of copyright strikes. 20 of them.
20 strikes?
20 strikes, bro.
But they're going down. They're stupid.
YouTube contacted me and the copyright takedown notice. Hello, Advent Preach. We received the copyright infringement notifications below regarding your videos. We believe your
And we laughed
content
at them.
is protected by fair use, fair dealing, or similar exceptions to copyright protection. We are writing to let you know we do not, I repeat,
What?
we do not plan to remove your videos at this time. Do you want to hear more?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So, at this point,
Damn,
it shows
get
me what
fucked.
the fresh and fit lawyer, okay, who I'm going to admit his name.
Imagine being so bad at abusing copyright that not even YouTube, which is notorious for allowing abuse of their copyright system, not even them will allow it to go through because it is so outrageous. The only time I've ever even seen this message is when I got it one time because a pickup artist tried to issue a copyright takedown on one of my videos. And YouTube was like, yeah, this guy tried to do this, we're just letting you know. But we're not doing anything about it, just thought you should at least know. It seemed like more like they wanted me to know that he was even more pathetic than I initially thought. Which seems to be the case here, too. Just letting this guy know, like, hey, these guys are fucking pathetic and we're not doing anything.
Claims we infringed, okay? And if you look at the timestamps don't make no sense. They say that we stole 50
That's big.
minutes of their
Let's go,
content,
YouTube.
40 minutes. Our videos are never longer than 15 minutes. So already there, I don't know who the lawyer is, but he's incompetent. But shout out to him because he's making money off Fresh and Fit the same way we are. So shout out to him. Hey, I feel like, you know what? Their legal team is just scamming them too. You know what? Miami's just full of scammers. I'm not gonna
Miami does suck. Miami's
Walter's
trash.
scamming his fans. The lawyer's scamming Fresh and Fit, Karma, something like that. If you know, it's like
Thanks to
20
Prime
videos
Innis and the
that
Prime,
they claim
or
we
the
infringed on
Resub
their
ISO and the
copyright,
Prime
okay?
Hoagie.
So YouTube sees this and they reply, "Hi, lawyer. We are concerned that some of the information in your takedown request may be fraudulent. Please understand that
What?
YouTube receives a large number of fraudulent copyright takedown requests, and we take that abuse of that process very seriously." And then they cite a court case where they fuck somebody up for doing it. Then they say, "We remind you to take this seriously." And
I want to see that. This is okay. So I've never seen this. This is
yeah, I'm
new.
sure you saw every-
They start throwing down with the lawyer in this email chain. So was it YouTube LLC versus Brady? How new is this? Where's the date? Man, this guy just got blasted. So he can no longer ever use copyright infringement to any YouTubers ever. Whoever this guy is. I don't really want to read the whole court case, but how long ago is this? Does anyone... And who the fuck is Brady? It was in 2019. Tom Brady. Oh, I didn't even see... I didn't even see that. I just started reading. Thanks to the resub, Joel. God damn. That's pretty crazy. Does anyone know who this guy is? I feel like this should be something more people know about. YouTube actually took a stand against the abuse of their system at one point. Thanks to the resub, Preeny. Well, yeah, but I don't know who the fuck Christopher L. Brady is, man. I'm wondering, is it like a YouTuber or is it something else, like an entity that does this kind of fraudulent copyright takedown notice thing professionally? I'm wondering, like, is it a YouTuber or something? If anyone knows this case. Like, if I look this up, it's just going to bring me this guy, and I'm not trying to just learn about this guy's life. I want to know, like, what he actually plays in here. If he is the YouTuber or something like that. So nobody knows. Okay, let's see. Brady was a copyright troll known for false flagging videos. They made him say this. I, Christopher L. Brady, admit that I sent dozens of notices to YouTube falsely claiming that material uploaded by YouTube users infringed my copyrights. Brady's official apology, which is part of the settlement, reads, I apologize to YouTube users that I directly impacted by my actions to the YouTube community and to YouTube itself. Brady will also pay $25,000 per settlement term. And YouTube plans to donate that money to a nonprofit that advocates on behalf of creators. Get fucked. So Brady filed against two Minecraft YouTubers, Abi and Penguinz0, and then he used 15 different identities to keep targeting them. Holy shit. Holy shit. This guy got absolutely blasted. How have I never heard of this case? How has no one here ever heard of this case? Is 25k enough to burn a hole in his pocket? Bro, this is just a normal guy. He's an actual just internet troll who got slapped. So yeah, 25k per settlement term. Even if it's only one, even just one term, he is just a normal average Joe guy. That's a lot of money. If I was YouTube, I would be posting this once a month. Like, guys, we actually do care. Look at what we did to this one fucking douchebag. YouTube's so bad at communication, they can't take the W when they deserve it. Yeah, fucking true. How is this not all over Team YouTube's Twitter? I feel like I would have seen this at some point, right? But then it's bragging. So what? It's better than just getting shit on all the time. Like, hey guys, we actually did something good. I swear to God, we do this behind the scenes, but look, this one's public. Oh, so the reason they pursued it so extensively is because he tried to extort the two of them. Oh, shit. Okay, so it was a little bit more than just the false takedowns. Okay. Anyway, I want to go back to this.
Sure you get it done. If we don't receive a detailed explanation from you within 7 days, your YouTube account may be terminated. You may be able to avoid termination if you retract your takedown request. You also have to know that if you abuse the system and YouTube finds out, you can get your channel terminated. Folks, but if you go down this road, I'm letting you know, it's often your end that's going to be hit the hardest. Hey, bro, you know what? We always be shitting on YouTube. I think we got to show YouTube some love today.
Yeah, this was big from him.
Yo, no problem. No, yeah, for real. For that, I got to admit, like, we've been saying, YouTube this, YouTube that, YouTube, okay.
Yeah.
So what is it? So basically, what you're saying is that we're in the ring right now. They got 7 days to retract.
Yeah, like Craig David. The lawyer then responds.
This is so wholesome now. This is great.
The lawyer says, each of the videos in question either uses a significant section of our client's content, fresh and fit, pulled directly from their videos on YouTube channel, or if it lifted their entire videos from their YouTube channel. Furthermore, we believe that these videos in question are all being used for commercial purposes without alteration, which necessarily defeats any fair use exceptions to copyright infringement.
Bro, do they know what alteration is?
Hey, the lawyer's getting paid. He's making his money. Do not argue with what the lawyer's saying. The lawyer's just trying to stretch this out.
Wait, is this even a lawyer? Wait,
What
what? Is a paralegal even like a fully licensed lawyer? Maybe I don't understand. What is a paralegal? Hold on. A lawyer is someone who has studied law and has the authority and qualification to practice it, whereas a paralegal can work for an attorney but cannot practice law. Paralegals can research cases, file documents, and prepare legal reports for the lawyer they work for. So they didn't even get a lawyer. They got an assistant. They got a grunt. They literally just had an intern do this for them. So they couldn't even be bothered. Oh man, that's embarrassing. I don't know Fresh and Fit, but this is rough for them here. They must have saved a lot of money on this lawyer, if they even paid him at all.
That makes no sense. Without alteration, by definition of us cutting in and interjecting, we've altered it.
He's a prime candleless and resub direct.
YouTube response. Hello, Fresh. My man's 28 going on 80, and I don't want that to be you guys. And that's why today's sponsor, T.H. Henley's coming in to save the day. I get compliments.
Oh, he's even getting an ad in here? Let's go.
Skincare routine. How do you get your skin? And for a lot of fellas talking about skincare, thank you for your message. However, we remain concerned that your copyright notification is not valid for some or all the videos identified in your notification. As a result, the content will remain live on YouTube. Sincerely, the YouTube team.
Damn, poor Fresh and Fit. You love to see it, though. That paralegal was fired, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that YouTube investigates this.
So they're complaining that we're doing the same thing that they've been doing.
Exactly.
He's a prime. To Tristan.
You know what, my man? I'm going to tell you this.
What is he?
All of this could have been so easy if they would just go on with the boxing match. It would have been easier. But no, now you try to copyright claim from a motherfucker. No. Easier if I would go down there.
Here's some big mic.
I do what I gotta do what you gotta do, and then that's it. But no.
I actually called the gym for you because I know you were going to go down there that weekend.
That's great. You love to see a fat W there. Good for them. I'd really like to know who that paralegal was, because I've never seen that. That's extraordinarily rare. For YouTube to come into an email chain and just smack that guy down in his own fucking house like that? Yikes. That's old drama now? This is a day ago. What are you talking about? This is fresh. I do love internet drama, the goofy shit. Well, I guess not all of it's goofy. This one's more like just genuinely sad. And the Activision Blizzard shit is absolutely horrifying. Fucking goblins stealing breast milk from their fridges and whatever. But this one's more goofy. Nico and PewDiePie, that's not real drama. He does that for everyone that even mentions him in passing. There's a long list of people I'll never have respect for. Cheaters, drunk drivers, animal abusers, murderers. Yeah, that's right, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not gonna censor myself. I think you gotta be a real jerk to kill someone. Standing wipers is another one. I don't understand what kind of psychopath would stand up after doing their business to wipe when the toilet seat already spreads your cheeks, giving you the optimal angle of entrance to your butthole. Doesn't make any sense. You're adding extra steps and more of a nuisance. And another thing that I'll never have respect for are pathetic scumbags that abuse the YouTube strike system because their feelings got hurt. And that has been happening quite a bit lately on the platform. It's been an incredible week for little slimy weasels that like to use the YouTube strike system because someone made a video they weren't overly happy about. So I wanted to march on in here and administer some wedgies and shoot spitballs at these fucking dweebs that are doing this disgusting weenie behavior where they're abusing this YouTube system to try and get rid of videos that said not nice things about their content. The first one I want to cover is from this YouTube channel, Penguinz0. They received a copyright strike from another YouTuber named The Manny Show. I'll go ahead and play a clip from this video that explains it.
That one of my videos had a copyright takedown, which is very new to my channel. The video in question that was taken down is why everyone hates The Manny Show. And the YouTube automated email says, "Hi Penguinz, we received a copyright removal request."
I was unfamiliar with The Manny Show before this situation, and I really missed 30 minutes ago when I was still in ignorant bliss about who this was, because this shit is insufferable. It's a massive YouTube channel that just aims to fill the shorts algorithm with brain rot content to try and farm subs off of it. It sucks. It super sucks. Copyright strikes are a huge deal. It's more than just the video getting taken down. It affects the entire channel. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the strike system on this platform. It's the nuclear option. When someone does that, it's a declaration of war, and that's when things get extremely serious. And it's also an unforgivable sin on the internet. If you ever have that little devil on your shoulder that convinces you to file a copyright strike, just know that blemish is going to haunt you for the rest of your fucking life on the cyberspace. People don't forget that. So if you're filing a strike on a channel, you better hope that that channel is publicly beheading puppies or something, because otherwise, everyone's going to hate you for it forever. Strikes, in an ideal world, would be reserved for repeat offender channels that are publishing like borderline criminal content. Anything aside from that, and you could just file a normal copyright claim and block. You don't have to choose to strike the channel. You can just take down the video you think is in violation of your copyright or whatever, and have that be that. But when you go the extra step here and put the cherry on top of the shit cake with a strike, then it becomes a huge deal. But in a situation like this, the Manny Show would still very much be in the wrong, even if they took the lesser of two evils and just removed the video without the strike. Because they have no grounds for removing the video whatsoever. They have no legs to stand on. It's a completely fraudulent claim that blatantly abuses YouTube's system. The channel that was struck, Penguinz, is a commentary channel that will play a clip from a piece of content, let it play for like 10 or 15 seconds or so, and then talk about it, giving their commentary on whatever they're going over, whatever the subject is. Looking at the removal request, we can see that 13 seconds of the video was enough to lead the Manny Show to strike the entire fucking channel here. That's some fucking filthy fish paste right there. 13-second clip was enough to have the Manny Show bring the hammer down with the iron fist on the channel, because Penguinz was saying some less than stellar things about the Manny Show, I guess. But you can't strike someone because your feelings were hurt over what he was saying about your content. That's just not how it works. He hasn't violated any rules at all. You are totally fine to play bits and pieces from other content and then talk about it, transform it with your commentary, your jokes, your input, whatever it is. It's not like Penguinz took the entire video from the Manny Show and re-uploaded it without adding anything to it, without changing it whatsoever. There was no rules that were broken here, at least not from what I can tell. I also will just never understand this strategy of doing something like this, because as the Manny Show or part of the Manny Show team, you would have to know that Penguinz or any commentary channel ever would see this and immediately talk about it, because this is just a big no-no. This is like an unwritten rule on YouTube that you don't strike another YouTuber just because they hurt your feelings. That will always backfire on you in the biggest possible way, and it puts all of the eyes on you as the bad guy, as the villain. You won't get support for that. No matter what Penguinz was saying about you, and I can't go watch the video since it's been taken down, but I imagine he was calling him cringe or something. Now you have made things significantly worse for yourself. The video title that got taken down was Why Everyone Hates the Manny Show, and I don't know what the reason behind it was, but I can tell you what it will be now. The reason why everyone hates the Manny Show is because they're very sensitive and file false strikes on other YouTubers' channels. I can now answer that question for why people hate the Manny Show. And that's because of your actions. Not even because of your content, it's because what you've done when someone criticized you. It's fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Speaking of dumb and stupid, we have the actual fucking mascot for those things, Tech Lead here. He is apparently still filing false DMCA claims. I just made a video talking about him. I called it Complete Loser. I went over his last fraudulent strike that he issued on Internet Anarchist. Mudahar posted this on June 29th, so only a couple days ago. This appears to be a screenshot of Tech Lead filing a DMCA takedown request. This is a classic SpongeBob, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man moment. This one is particularly enjoyable though, because this means that YouTube automatically declined Tech Lead's attempt to falsely strike another channel. This doesn't happen super often with YouTube, but they do have measures in place to prevent offenders like Tech Lead from abusing these systems once they're made aware of it. So what happens, and I've seen it a couple of times, what happens is you take one of these fucking worms like Tech Lead, they file a takedown removal request. YouTube will then start processing it and realize that this is just a bunch of hooey. So YouTube will actually send you an email making you aware that someone tried to target a particular video for a particular reason. In Mudahar's case, that video from a Tech Lead segment. and they tell you that they are not going to take any action because they believe it's fair use, but they want to put it on your radar in case you want to do something with that information. The reason they state is in case you want to delete it just to be safe, to avoid any kind of like legal ramifications if they decide to go above the YouTube strike system. So they just give you that information so that way you can plan your next steps accordingly, whether it's deleting the video or contacting the party directly. So that's why Mudahar has that copy there of the tech lead DMCA. It's because YouTube thought it was such a load of barnacles that they didn't even bother fucking with it. They just threw it into the trash pile right away, but sent a copy to Mudahar to basically use as toilet paper if he wants. That is so poetic for tech lead. YouTube won't even take him seriously anymore. I'm surprised they haven't taken legal action against him since he has openly on record admitted to abusing their system, which is a legal problem. That is actually him admitting to some very bad activity that YouTube could absolutely slap him for. And I think they probably will. This is leading me to believe that YouTube is now very much aware of tech lead and what he's doing, and I really think YouTube might take actual action against him for this garbage. Now maybe I'm huffing copium like crack here, but it really to me does seem like YouTube might do something. They're declining his DMCAs without even bothering to process them anymore because they must be aware that this is just bogus. Like it's fake, fraudulent. So maybe they'll do something against tech lead. I think they absolutely should. And this has nothing to do with his false DMCA takedown strike crusade that he's going on, but I have to talk about this because it was so pathetic. A few nights ago, actually by this point it's probably like 5 or 6 nights ago, maybe even like a week ago, I'm losing track of time, everything's blending together. But I was streaming Elden Ring, I was playing the DLC, and I saw tech lead poke his curious little head up in my chat. And he would cheer on whatever boss I was fighting at the time, like, go get him, demon guy, beat his ass, that kind of thing. You called me a complete loser? Well, look at you, you're dying to this Elden Ring boss, loser. And nobody in the chat even noticed he was there. He's such an insignificant fly that even his attempts to try and stir up shit in the chat didn't work. It just flew under the radar because no one gives a fuck about him. But I saw him because I'm always paying attention to the chat. It's the most fun about streaming is interacting with the community. So I saw a tech lead in there, but I didn't call any attention to him. I just sat there and just looked at what he was saying. And I know he started fuming because I'm actually good at Elden Ring. So he came in during the Mother Finger boss fight, and it only took me like 5 tries or something on that boss. And he came in there at like the third or so try. So he only got to see me take 1, maybe 2 deaths until I beat the boss. And then he just had to sit there and say some other nonsense outside of that because I wasn't struggling on the bosses. And I just found that to be so embarrassing that this grown-ass man would take like 30, 40 minutes, whatever it was, out of his evening. And it was late too. It was like 2 a.m., 1 a.m., something like that. To hopefully watch me struggle on Elden Ring bosses and then not even get the pleasure of seeing that. Now, if he came in later and saw me on the final boss, he would have had quite a spectacle because that boss is fucking brutal. That took me like almost 3 hours to beat. But he came on the bosses that I was able to just fucking slap around and put the smackdown on. And he just had to sit there and just say nonsense and no one responded to it. And I just see it and kind of like smile internally about it. I just had to point that out. I found that to be like so embarrassing. I don't know how he went to sleep that night with that level of shame. Going into my chat to try and start shit only to have no response from anybody. Just straight up crickets. So I had to mention that since we were already talking about this loser anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about these 2 cases here because within just a week, we've already seen 2 YouTubers, again, falsely strike or attempt to strike other channels for nonsense reasons. And I think that shit sucks. That's about it. See ya.